In the last 2 years, the practices of mindfulness and meditation seem to be trending with the masses. Whether it's Russell Brand and David Lynch advocating the positive effects of these practices for the creative mind, or podcasts and YouTube channels offering private meditation lessons, mindfulness practices are being brought into new mainstream environments to reach as many people as possible. An exciting local example is the monthly group meditation event at Arterial Gallery Roselle titled From Meditation to Manifestation. This event caught my curiosity as it made me wonder about the connection between mindfulness and creativity, and what these practices can do for art and the artist. Last week I met with meditation teacher, artist and business coach Noula Diamantopoulos and gallery manager and curator Rihanna Walcott of Arterial Gallery to discuss these ideas further. We started with the group meditation event and what it's all about.
We answer really 3 questions. The first one is why meditate, how to meditate, and what's the difference between meditation and mindfulness. So one of my abilities, if you like, skills, talents, whatever, is that I can ground things. So a lot of this new age language that's now coming into our everyday vocabulary, is not truly understood because it hasn't been experienced. So I'm able to do that. And people's ideas about, for example, meditation, that, I'm not good at meditating because I can't stop thinking. Well, no, you don't stop thinking. That's it's not about that, and that doesn't mean you're not having a great meditation. So, and they get to experience around about 3 different types of meditation, so they can see which one that they might be resonated more with them. And we're now changing the program a little bit, because what happened last time, we had such an overwhelming response to last year's meditation. I was held back. We were all, the gallery and myself, were held back for another hour with people asking lots of questions. So I've decided to put that into the formality of the evening. So basically the first part is the 45 minutes of meditation and answering those 3 questions interwoven. Then those people can leave if they want to, or you can stay on and there'll be like a teaching topic, and we stay on for around about 40 minutes where it's a Q&A. So I'll speak for about 5 minutes on something. It could be the concept of awareness, what does that mean, and to resource people with either articles, YouTubes, or books that they might want to read, and then just facilitate an open discussion about it.
A friend recently lent me Eckhart Tolle's best-selling novel The Power of Now. Amongst the discussion of many popular mindfulness practices, Tolle emphasizes the peace one feels once they refrain from the judgment of themselves and others. So I asked Noula and Rihanna what they thought about the necessity of subjective judgment and industry criticism in the art world, and whether Arterial Gallery handles this aspect in their own specific way.
It's an interesting question, and to be honest, it's not something that we've had too big an issue with at Arterial from the point of view of a commercial gallery. I think obviously that all art, and especially contemporary art, is highly subjective. So we do get people coming into the gallery from time to time, and they'll make it quite clear to us that a particular artwork isn't doing it for them, that they're not interested in it, they don't like it. But I think when you hear those sort of comments, obviously that everyone's entitled to their opinion, but a lot of the time what they're really saying is that they don't understand what the artist is trying to communicate or what's going on with the work. So I actually get quite excited if people tell me that they don't like the work, because it gives me the opportunity to start a discussion with them and really talk about what the artist is trying to communicate, and even just give them some basic context. And you find a lot of the time that if you do start to give them that context and that understanding, they'll leave the gallery with a new respect and new understanding for the work. They might still leave not liking the work, or they may still have had a negative emotional response to the work, but they've got a new understanding. For me personally, with contemporary art, an artwork is successful if it does make you feel any kind of emotional response. So when somebody is standing in front of a work feeling a response, it might be a negative response, it might be confusion, disgust, they may not like it, but they are feeling something. So at the end of the day, the work has on some level succeeded, and engaging with contemporary art is really about dialoguing with the ideas that are being explored and learning something about yourself in the process. So judgment can really be a positive tool in that sense.
And this is for artists, it's a very tricky passage to navigate, actually, because you put your creations on show, and then people go, oh well, my 5-year-old could have done that, or oh, you call that art? Really, that's art, or da 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 da. But and having read, as you said, Toll's Power of Now, and this concept about judgment, it goes back to Maslow. And he said that the good opinion of others is none of my business. So it creates, it's not an arrogant stand, not at all an arrogant stand, but it means more like what Rihanna was speaking about. It's like it's an opportunity for conversation, for expansion of understanding, without there being the polarities of right or wrong, and more about, what do I stand for? Do I have the strength? Where's my core strength in this? Because if I keep taking from what you say or from what you say, and then I change my work, and now I add more yellow, or now I subtract more green, or whatever, it's like, well, what am I doing? What part of this is my own exploration, or my response to some kind of idea of what is art?
I then asked Noula what she believes mindfulness and meditation can do for the artist and one's creativity.
When students come, for example, and learn art at the studio here, what they're learning really is about themselves. And I'm going to link it back to your previous comment with respect to Toll and his, judgment. Can we not judge ourselves? Can we begin there? And that's mindfulness. That's getting to know who I am, number one, and then loving who I am. Really, really nurturing. And loving for me is to nurture. Loving doesn't mean to say that what I've just produced is the most fabulous, fantastic thing on the whole planet. It just means I'm good with that. Like, I produced that, I'm good with that. Because if we don't do that, it's like giving birth to a child. It's like, you're wrong. No. You don't do that, and we give all encouragement to a child up to the age of about 12. And then it's like, nah. Now you've got to get real, you're going to high school, what's your career going to be, blah, blah, blah. But, we allow them to read fairy tales and have magic in their life and jump puddles and all sorts of things, We should be doing that for ourselves so that we can go towards our becoming, whoever it is that we are meant to be. In other words, you're blocking that off every single time. We want to, potentiate. We want to see who we are. We were already born with gifts. But then we block them off and say, no, you're not meant to be like that. You shouldn't be producing that. That's not art. You're not creative. That's not, give up. Give up. No, never give up. But the point is that we are creative beings. Let's put artists aside and call that's the profession. That is a choice that people make to do that full time. And let's look at our creative being. You can't not but be creative. It's impossible. The way you dress, the way you walk, the way you talk, your relationships, everything. You created them. Every single thing. Everything that you're experiencing is yours. Now, the process therefore becomes one of self-awareness, to realize that. And a whole bunch of other things are coming to my imagination now, because they're going, well, how can... I didn't create this situation in my life, for example, where that person speaks to me in a particular way. Let's use that as an example. But what you do create is the way you react to it. And we forget that.
Arterial Gallery has also integrated many mindfulness practices into the way in which the gallery works with artists and the exhibiting of their art. Their approach includes setting a defined goal with artists from the beginning, which is not always a matter of money, but also growth and experimentation. The gallery is set on doing things of value, not of status, taking it project by project and always factoring in the dynamics of the community.
For me personally, I've found that these sort of mindfulness techniques and meditations have been completely transformative. We started meditating as a team at Arterial about 3 years ago now. So every morning, the whole team comes in about 15 minutes early, and we do a quick meditation out the back with Noula in her studio. Before we started doing this as a team, I had never meditated. I had no experience, but it's been really incredible. It's really changed the way that the gallery operates. Arterial has really focused on, in the last few years, on integrating a lot of holistic practices into how we operate. So as an example, the art world is a funny industry in that you're dealing with a huge variety of different personality types, and artists, they're not going to work in an office. They have different ways of interacting compared to somebody who's working 9 to 5 in a big team environment. And when you're with an artist, you really need to be present and make them feel that they're being heard and understood. So when we have situations come up at the gallery and we need to come up with a solution to them, we use a lot of different mindfulness techniques, which Noula's taught us, such as deep democracy or role-playing, things like that, which really help us to consider carefully the position of all of the key stakeholders in that situation, whether that's the artist, the general public, the collector, the gallery director, the gallery team. And it's about looking at more than just the stereotypical things you think about when considering someone else's role. It's about, for example, the artist's emotional needs, their spiritual needs, their mental needs, and also it could even be, their financial needs. So it's really digging deep and going into each aspect of the issue before trying to come up with some creative solutions. It's about constantly having that process of mindfulness and having the clarity to understand why you're doing something, and also helping the artist, because often they're not particularly clear at the beginning, but helping them to realize, why are they doing it? What is it that they want, so that you can both be working towards those clear goals.
Yeah, it's a conscious business approach, and we're very fortunate to have the owner of the gallery who's able to support this particular approach in business. And that does not deny the desire to be making money, because at the end of the day it is the livelihood of the artists, not just the galleries, but the artists. We can't just go, oh, we'll put a show on for you, isn't that lovely? We celebrated with champagne, what else do you want?
Meeting with the girls at Arterial Gallery was one of great inspiration. The connection between mindfulness and creativity proved to be one of awareness and acceptance for the self, to abandon the boundaries of self-judgment placed in our minds by ourselves and others, which can block us from reaching our full creative abilities, and meditation is a way of beginning this process. I know there are some skeptics out there that are wondering whether meditation is all it's cracked out to be, but there is only one way to find out. Why not come down to Arterial Gallery and see for yourself? From Meditation to Manifestation is taking place on February 17th and is a free monthly event. Details about the event can be found out on the Canvas Facebook page after the show.